So, let's dive into a thought experiment. What if you had infinite money? And I don't mean just rich. I mean truly, without a doubt, limitlessly wealthy. It sounds like the ultimate dream, right? But what if? What if it's actually a nightmare?
No, really, just take a second and actually imagine it. You wake up tomorrow and you can have absolutely anything you desire. No fine print, no strings attached, anything.
A private jet? Bam, it's waiting for you on the tarmac. A mansion on every single continent? The keys are already in your pocket. The world isn't just your oyster anymore, it's your own personal vending machine, and everything is free.
And that's the twist, isn't it? That's the core question we're going to dig into. What happens when the ultimate fantasy, the very thing so many of us spend our lives chasing, actually traps you in a way you could never have seen coming?
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. You know, the honeymoon phase. That first incredible rush where you feel like you finally cracked the code to life itself.
I mean, think about it. The question, can I afford this? It vanishes from your mind completely. Life just becomes this endless river of instant gratification. And for a little while, man, it feels like an absolute win.
And right there, that's the first tiny crack in this perfect world. See, the paradox of getting everything you want is that wanting itself, that engine that drives ambition, creativity, and even happiness, it just starts to sputter out.
And that little crack? Well, it widens into the next phase, what we're calling the Great Fade. This is the point where all that magic just starts to wear off, and the extraordinary, well, it just becomes your new boring normal.
This really shows you what's happening inside your head. That private jet that felt like a superpower? It's just transportation now. That dream home that felt like a palace? It's just background noise. And that constant thrill of excitement is slowly replaced by this deep, heavy boredom.
You know, it all comes down to a pretty simple truth about our brains. We are wired for contrast. We only really appreciate warmth because we felt cold. We enjoy success because we've known what it's like to fail. But when your life is just a flat line of pure perfection, you lose the ups and downs that actually create joy.
Okay, so from this internal emptiness, the problem starts to bleed outward. It starts to poison your relationships. And this might be the most devastating part of it all, the social collapse.
You start to notice people acting differently around you. Conversations feel a little stiff, a little off. Every smile seems calculated. Every compliment feels like it has an agenda. And you become this detective, constantly trying to figure out people's true motives. And it is absolutely exhausting. And all of that suspicion, all of that analysis, it leads you to this one stark, heartbreaking conclusion. You just can't tell who's genuine anymore. You are surrounded by people, but you feel completely and utterly alone because that trust is gone.
And this is what that isolation really feels like. It's not about being physically by yourself. Your life is probably full of parties and people, but emotionally, it's a vacuum. Real, honest connection becomes the one thing your infinite fortune just can't buy.
So this social isolation brings us to the real philosophical core of the problem. You're left with this hollow victory, a life that has absolutely no resistance, no friction.
This is the absolute heart of the matter. We, as humans, we get our sense of purpose from struggle, from striving for something and overcoming obstacles to get it. If you can have anything you want instantly, you never get to earn anything. There are no real victories. There are only transactions.
So there you are. You're sitting in this gilded cage. You literally possess the entire world, but in the process, you've lost the very things that make a human life feel rich and worthwhile. The struggle, the surprise, and the trust that connects us to other people.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? What's the final truth that this gilded cage reveals? And this is the fundamental lesson right here. Wealth is an amazing tool for removing external problems, hunger, discomfort, inconvenience. But it is completely powerless when it comes to creating internal purpose. It can clear the entire path for you, but it can't tell you which way to go. And here's the final cruel irony of it all. The things that are truly priceless, the things that give life all its color and texture, they aren't just things money can't buy. In this scenario, having all the money in the world actively makes them harder to find.
And so we end on this. We turn the whole thought experiment back to you. If infinite stuff isn't the answer, it kind of forces all of us to ask ourselves, beyond just surviving and being comfortable, what is actually worth wanting? What's really worth the struggle?